Hi everyone, welcome back to the garden. Okay, I'm right here on the rose island where we're going to be doing some fertilizing of the roses. It's a little bit late, right? They should have been done maybe 2 weeks ago before my roses had leafed out. Now, there was a reason for my delay. When I went out to get my fertilizer, I could not find it. It was not on any of the shelves that it's normally on. And so I took what was available at the time, which was the rose tone. And let me tell you, I knew I was fertilizing. My neighbors knew I was fertilizing. My neighbors knew I was fertilizing. That fertilizer, woo, girl, let me tell you. Let me come a little bit closer. That fertilizer had a fragrance. Stop it, right? I think it's still in my jacket. I've washed this jacket at least 5 or so times, and I still think I smell of that rose stone fertilizer. But it's okay. But as my husband would say, the worse it smells, the better it is. I don't know, right? But let me tell you. All right, so all that to say, right? Here we are now. Where we're going to go ahead and we're going to fertilize this bed. As mentioned, what I'll do, simply because it's a preference with me and it's all psychological, can I tell you? Once I get this bed done, I did pick up some extra packets of this fertilizer. I'm going to go ahead and redo some of the beds that I did previously, just to be sure that I have my love going down the right way. All right. Now, as with when fertilizing, we're going to ensure that we put this right around the drip line of the plant. It's windy and it's cold. I do apologize if you're having a hard time hearing me. But we're going to fertilize everything in this bed is going to be fertilized with the same fertilizer. So I've got hydrangeas in this bed. I have got my Shasta daisies in here. Listen, they're all going to get some of this good love. All right, let's go ahead and get it down as quickly as we can. And then we have, I'll show you some issues that I'm having with some salvia. We're going to go ahead and take them out of this bed and replace them with something more rabbit hardy. All right. All right, let's get going. So when you're fertilizing your plants, you always try to put that fertilizer right around the drip line. So if you can see, I just went around and scuffed around the soil. My fertilizer is going to be put there right around the drip line, and then we're going to cover it back in. Work it into the first couple inches of soil. All right. Oops. I just fertilized my shoes. Not cool. Come on in, let me show you something real quick. I'm gonna use the go handheld for but a moment. Alright, so you can see I have fertilizer around all of the plants on this bed, which is cool. What I want to show you, well, I'm missing 2 plants right here, but what I want to show you is this. Look at this growth coming up right here. I don't know if you can see it. This is where a Shasta daisy was. So we have just her stems. There's some little leaves down there. Do you see them? Sort of oval shaped. And I'm wondering if that is her coming back. The others are already big and huge, right? These were the bigger, I don't know if you remember that I had divided the plants late in the season last year, right? So 2 halves are doing good, but the third portion, I don't know. I don't know if it died, or I'm not sure if this is her coming back. Let me show you something else too. Another one has the same sort of growth, which is why it would lead me to believe that that probably is her. Let's walk down here for a second. I'll show you. Show you. Ah, yes, look. She has more of those little leaves. Are you seeing them? So it could be her, right? Because they're coming up almost oval. Just like right here. So I fertilized it, right? Just in case if it is the Shasta. So I did give her a little bit of love. If it's not her in a weed, it wouldn't be the first time I fertilized weeds, right? Stop it! Alright, but yeah, I just wanted to show you that. So let me rake this all in, right? If you notice, when we fertilize, I raked around just the I forgot my words again, right? So we raked right around the drip line of each plant, put down the fertilizer, and I'm going to use my rake and just mix that all into the top couple inches of soil. Everything on this bed has gotten fertilized, as mentioned before. The hydrangeas, the Shasta daisies. The only things that I've not fertilized are the salvia, and I'm going to show you why in just a moment. All right, let me cover these all up real quick. Okay, so this is what it looks like when all the fertilizer is scratched in, covered up. I'm normally as best I can. I don't have my mulch yet. We won't be doing our mulch until I've gotten all the beds done, which will probably be another week or 2 before I get fresh mulch down for the season. Right, but let me show you the second thing that we're going to be working on here in the walk. As mentioned, are the salvia. Let me show you. Now, I didn't know when I planted the salvia. I've never experienced slug damage in my garden before, because I guess I've been growing roses and stuff that the slugs are not attracted to. Last year, after planting, I realized, okay, I got a slug problem. But then even worse than that, I have a bunny problem. The bunnies love eating down my salvia. Every time this thing leaves out, trust me, she had leafed up to about an inch or so of growth already for the season. And that little hungry bunny, you saw the little fat one I was trying to show you, came and ate. I probably shouldn't say that, the little chubby bunny, I think she's going to have babies, came and ate all of my salvia, right? So that's one right there. There are 3 clumps of it. I heard something move. Probably the bunny again. There are 3 clumps of them. This one she had devastated last week, and it started to grow back again. I don't know if you can see the little sharp nibbles that she nibbles. All right, and there is one more at that end beside the tan container. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I quickly realized that salvia is not going to work in this bed, although everything online says it is bunny resistant, right? The bunnies do not flock to it. I got some hybrid bunnies, man. I got some bunnies that have a different sort of palate, and so they will eat my salvia. The only thing in my garden that I found that they will not eat are the hydrangeas, and maybe I just don't notice that they feed on the hydrangeas because they're more leafy. And more importantly, the ornamental onions. Yep, the alliums, people, the alliums, they don't mess with my alliums. So what I'm thinking we should do is let's go ahead and take out all of the salvia that's in the bed. So there's 3 pockets of them. Let's remove those. Let's pot them up in containers. And then I'm not going to go and buy new alliums. What I'll do is, because we have a bunch of allium, we have 2 plantings of it growing in the rose walk. Let's go to the rose walk and cut us a piece, right? And plant it up in this bed. And it will be good to have it in the bed too, because I'm going to turn in the other direction. Right, because can you see? So right on the rose island, right behind the rose island are the really big, beautiful evergreens, right? That is bunny heaven right there. That is where they run. That is where they hide. That is where they get away from me really, really, really fast, okay? And that tree is only about a foot away from the bed where they come to feast. So I've set quite the perfect table for them, yes? They simply get up in the mornings, they do their stretch, they jump right on in 1 second, they're in the bed, they feed to their heart's content, and then they run back for refuge as soon as I step outside. And actually, let me correct that. They don't even run for refuge. I kid you not. They sit there, they look at me, and they say, "Hi, good morning, Naomi." I'm like, "All right, good morning, babies." But okay, but all right. But we don't want any more bunnies in the bed, so I'm going to go ahead and add the one thing that I know that they do not like, which is the alliums. Okay. Right, let's get containers ready, pot up the salvia, and then alliums, here we come. Right? Right. All right, here we are at the Alliums. Okay. Right. Cute surprise right in the center. I don't know if you remember, we had a poet's wife there. That was removed, and I've replaced it with a bloomstruck hydrangea. Planted this bloomstruck hydrangea the end of November, basically. And you know, the little baby survived. Well, at least you can see the leaves. I'm like, what? My baby survived? What? She survived. Right, that's really cool. But all right, so to divide the alliums, we have 2 choices, right? We could go and dig the whole thing up, divide it, and then replant. Or I could attempt to get on in there and just take half of it out of the ground versus taking the whole thing. I think I'm going to try the latter. All right, let's make sure that we are positioned. I want to take the back half, so I've just gone on in. I hope I don't regret it. Oh, wait. And I'm going down. Ooh. Did you hear that? I went down, people. I went down, and I'm coming back up. And I'm going to go down again. Ooh, went straight down really easy. Because I'm in the center of the plant right there. One more. We ran into something. No. Alright. There we go. We have one more. And there is that beautiful, beautiful smell of onions. I'm going to come in a little closer so that you can see exactly what I did. So I divided it in half, and then I came at the back of the half to take that clump out. So if you want to get out, there you go. Alright, and this is her. Once I've divided it, here's the inside. And this is what she is looking like. Alright. Look at that, beautiful people. We are all done. We divided our alliums, and you'd never know. Looking at them, I'm going to go handheld. I apologize if the footage gets a little bit on the wobbly side. But look, that's number 1 and number 2. And what I did is I went back behind there where we had the hole, and I just, let me turn the camera around, got some soil and just filled that hole, right? And so you'd never know, you would never know that I was here and that we did this, right? Love it. Let me show you the beds. So here we are. Alliums are in, looking good. Did a bit more weeding. All the roses have been fertilized. When I did a divide, we got 4 clumps of alliums and we just scattered them. I replaced 1 in each spot where the salvia was and popped the odd one in the center. We'll see how they grow in the bed, and as they mature and I can divide more, I will, so that we'll have a nice mass planting of them. All right, but the bed itself looks really good. You'll notice that I did not water, and why I have not watered is because guess what? It is going to rain tomorrow. We are actually going to be wet all week for about 4 to 5 days straight of precipitation, so this is good. So Mother Nature is going to take care of getting that fertilizer down and watering the new plants for me. Here are the salvias. Looking good. 1, 2, and 3. You know, when I was taking them out, I started to think about it and realized that they could be infested with some sort of slugs, right? That are eating the leaves down as well. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to spray these guys. And then I'll give you an update on them in a couple weeks to let you know if they're growing, and hopefully they will. But look, we did it. Look, daffodils. Stop it. My first time putting daffodils on the ground, and they are growing too, people. Oh, it's a beautiful spring, isn't it? Look. Oh, tell me you are not in love with this yellow. Tell me you're not in love. Oh man, I love it. There's something about the color yellow early spring that just does it for me. I really love that yellow. And can I just show you one more thing? One more thing, last thing, I promise, people. Last thing, you're so awesome. Let me show you. Do you remember the dapple willow cuttings that we took when I was trimming this dapple? I had stuck a couple of the cuttings in the ground. Do you know these things are growing? And look at me. Look at my hand. Messy fingers, never mind. But look, I am pulling on these bad boys and they are not moving. Do you know what that means? Yup, they rooted. I kid you not, these apple cuttings rooted already. So, interesting, right? In hindsight, looking at how the dapple roots, because when I came in to plant the alliums, well, these are the allium bulbs that we had grown in the garage. When we came in to plant these a couple weeks ago, it was so difficult because I kept running into roots from the dapple willow. I got so annoyed, I just chopped them. Eventually I was like, come on man, why'd you have so many roots? But I realized that this baby is rooting like crazy, right? Really rooting like crazy. So these cuttings that I have here, I'll not put them in the ground. I'm going to take them out in a couple weeks and put them in containers and grow them on there. Never mind all the weed. I'll get rid of the weed once we get the cuttings out. But isn't that awesome? Yep. All right. I just love to share my joy with you. All right, beautiful people. So we are all done. Stop it. All right. Thank you for joining me for yet another beautiful day in the garden. You are awesome. Thanks for watching. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.